Hey, gang. So, on the garage. So I recently, actually yesterday, picked up this 1973 18 horse Evinrude outboard motor. Yeah, don't know much about it. Other than it ran and it didn't run, whatever. So, I think I'm going to take a look at it. I'm thinking about running a compression test and a spark test on this thing. Just to see what's going on and see if there's any compression and see if we got any spark. Let's start with that. I gotta come back here and get my compression test. And what else we need? Maybe a credit wrench will do the job on this job. Oh, for God's sakes. So, I don't know, not much going on live tonight. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're gonna crack an adult beverage here. Something to sip on as we fart around tonight. Yeah, movie showing up. Anyways, that's the way it goes. So I picked up this old 18 horse Evinrude yesterday. I finished the 1960 Evinrude 2 days ago that I restored. Picked up this one yesterday. And I haven't done a compression test, haven't done a spark test on it yet. So I'm going to do that. And I'll probably have an adult beverage while I'm out here just farting around tonight. So let's see what we got going on here on this old Evinrude. Ooh, looks like he's got brand new spark plugs in here. Well, that one's loose as a goose. Loosey goosey. Okay. Well, I'm going to do a compression test on this motor. Picked this up yesterday. Didn't pay a lot of money for it. Just wanted to see what's going on. Over here I got a 1960 18 horse Evinrude that I rebuilt. No, not rebuilt, but restored. And got running. This one came up online a couple days ago, or actually yesterday, and I decided I'd pick it up. I don't know if it's got spark, I don't know if it's got compression. So we are going to go ahead and check for spark. We're actually going to check for compression first. Let's see if we got any compression in this thing. This is a 1973 Evinrude. And nothing fancy here. Do the old crescent wrench. I was told that this thing ran last spring. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. All we can do is go through the process and check things over and see what's what. I got a few people commenting. Who's here tonight? Hey, how you doing, Dodge Drifter? What type of car do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Well, we've got a couple cars. I've got my wife has an old, it's a 2004 BMW Z4. We've got a Dodge, she's got a Dodge 2500 crew cab. I want to say that's a 2011 or 2000, I don't even know what year that is. I think a 2011. I've got a 2011 Ford Taurus SHO, and we got a 2001, we call it the Devil Bus, 2001 Ford Excursion that many years ago we had custom skull grill on it, flames on it, something we would take to bike week anyways. So yeah, that's just, I got a few vehicles I drive. Hope that answers your questions anyways. And then over here is my 2014 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail. So a few vehicles. But yeah, let's check this. Must be gas in the carburetor still because she wanted to fire. We got about 100, looks like 105 pounds of compression on that cylinder. So that cylinder looks good for compression. Like I said, I picked this motor up 2 days ago. Let's see what we got going on here. Get her done. What are you working on? Snuffles, I am working on a 1973 Evinrude 18 horse outboard motor. I picked it up yesterday. Right next door to it, this motor right here was a 1960 Evinrude 18 horse that I found. It didn't run, was missing parts, was uglier than hell. That one I finished up yesterday. Runs real. So, and I got a pile full of motors. I've got 1967 McCullough 4 horse back here. I've got 1955 Evinrude 7.5 back here. 1973 9.5 Evinrude back here. In my storage facility, I got I think it's a 71 Mercury 7.5. God, what else is back there? I've got like 9 different motors right now that I'm farting around with, old motors that I'm farting around with. So a few motors. Used to switch all the vehicles to electric combustion. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Combustion motors might be bad for the environment. If you feel that way, that's great. I got nothing against you for feeling that way. I like playing with the old motors. It's something fun to do, something fun to work on. If you don't appreciate it, that's fine too. And the old 2-strokes is what I really enjoy. But in modern days, if you enjoy the electric stuff, that's great. More power to you. Nothing wrong with that. You do you. You do you. Just right on, Snuffles, right on. I get it. I didn't see that was you commenting there. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get on anybody for their personal beliefs. I'm just here doing my own thing. It's all good. Yeah, it's funny because, Snuffles, you say that. Back in the day, I rode the old 2-stroke dirt bikes, and obviously that doesn't necessarily meet any type of EPA standards. Nice. Well, that's not such a bad nickname to have. I appreciate that. Yeah. You probably appreciate all the old 2-strokes. Like I said, I used to have a KX500, an old CR500, way back in the day. IT465, Can-Am 370 dirt bike, a 4-stroke, that kind of turned me off. And, the whole electric thing, whatever. If people can do that, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. So like the old, what the heck was that? The old, electric cars that you hit the button and go. And then, granted, He did not that long ago, Snuffles. The Snuffles? Yeah. I was down at a buddy of mine's down in Chicago. I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I was down at a buddy of mine in Chicago, and he has many bikes. He's got a Harley, and he's got an old Goldwing, and not an old Goldwing, a newer Goldwing. But he also has an electric, like a little electric crotch rocket. And I took that out for, for a good zing and a good anyways. It was fun. It was fun. Would I get electric? Anything? Probably not. But it was fun. Let's see what we got for compression on this cylinder. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we're good on both cylinders. Both cylinders are up in the 105, 110 range, so we are looking good. We are looking good for compression. Next thing we need to do is check for spark. Now I was told that this motor ran. Sorry, I lost reception real quick. So I was told this thing ran for a little bit, but they said it lost power on one cylinder. But we have compression on both cylinders. So now we need to find out if we got spark on both cylinders. So I'm not quite sure what was going on. Last time it was used was last spring. And they were out for like 10 minutes. And I like playing with these old machines. I like playing with the old two-strokes. And see what we can do. And that's why I've got a handful of old two-strokes to work on. And I want to get them fixed up over the course of winter, and we'll sell them in the spring if somebody wants to buy them. If they don't, whatever. Let's see what's going on over here. New London, Wisconsin. Oh, New London, Wisconsin. I did a, you got a Walmart there? That sounds familiar, because way back in the day, like a long time ago, 20 years ago or so, I had a construction business, and we used to work on Walmarts. And New London, Wisconsin sounds familiar. I think I did a Walmart way back in the day. We used to do the garden center part of Walmart. So if you, I keep having issues with my connection there. Well, let's see if we got any spark on this old girl. This 1973. See what the top cylinder's doing. See what the top cylinder's doing. Well, let me pick up my tools real quick. That was dumb of me. That's what happens. That's what happens when it's late at night. And my phone keeps disconnecting from the internet service. My phone keeps disconnecting from the internet service. Now I gotta find my parts and pieces that fell. Intermittent spark on the bottom cylinder. And as I said, we're on a beverage in the garage. Been playing with old boards. I gotta pull that up. Yeah. So bottom cylinder. We have strong spark, weak spark, no spark. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what the top cylinder looks like for spark. I'm just hanging out tonight, playing with these old motors. Let's see who's here. Snuffles. Used to work in UP. Oh, no kidding, Snuffles. There goes, my internet went weird again. Part of living in the UP, I guess. So you worked up here in the UP at some point, eh? Snuffles, that's pretty cool. I'm getting really frustrated with this frickin' internet connection tonight. I'm gonna maybe try to disconnect from Wi-Fi. Try disconnecting from Wi-Fi and see if that works any better. Trying to see here. Sorry, gang. Grew up in Fremont, Wisconsin, Wolf River. Right on, brother, right on. Right on. Well, let's see if we got any spark on this top cylinder. Ooh, got some gas in the carburetor there. Uh-oh. I'm not seeing any spark there. There's spark. Alright, we're getting spark. Consistent spark in the top cylinder, but it's really weak. Son of a gun. See who's showing up here. Well, I'm not trying to start the machine. I was just doing a compression test, which both cylinders tested fine on the compression test. The bottom cylinder, I was having random spark. Top cylinder, I'm having consistent spark, but it's weak. So I just picked this machine up yesterday. It's a 1973 18 horsepower Evinrude. And I wanted to see if it had spark or if it had, and if it had compression. Not good compression, has weak spark. I don't have any fuel hooked up to it because I don't want it to start and run. I don't have it in water, so I do not want this thing to start running. I just want to check. I'm just doing some tests. So when I bought this motor, I was told it ran last spring for like 10 minutes. It died. They lost power to one of the cylinder. Lost electricity. Yeah, so what we're seeing, the top cylinder is getting spark consistently, but it seems weak. And the bottom cylinder is getting spark randomly. So I'm having an issue with the bottom cylinder. So what I'm going to have to do, and I'm not going to do it tonight, I'm going to have to pull the recoil, pull the flywheel, which got the stator on it, and get down in here and see if we got, I don't know, maybe you got to replace the condenser, maybe we got to check the points, see what's going on. It's got to be, it's obviously something electrical, but this is a really, really pretty motor. It's an 18 horse Evinrude. It's a 1973. It's in really great shape. It shifts into gear, forward gear, neutral, and reverse gear. So we know that all works. Now, if we can get this thing running properly, get good spark on both cylinders consistently, I will pull the lower unit, I'll replace the water pump, and I'll change the gear loop, and she'll be ready to sell. But that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm just checking this out. And that's as far as I'm going with this tonight. I'm not going to do any more work than what I did. I just wanted to check, do I have compression and do I have spark? And I do have good compression in both cylinders. I have weak spark in the top cylinder and I got sporadic spark in the bottom cylinder. So now we have a direction to go in. We know the recoil's got to come off. We know the flywheel's got to come off. And we're going to have to get into the points, condenser, coils. So something's going on with one of those three issues. And that's what we'll get into, not tonight. Tonight was just a test. And I'm out here having a beer in the garage. I didn't necessarily even plan on testing anything. I just came out here to have a beer in the garage and yeah, just hang out a little bit. So who do we got here now? Snuffles. I'm terrible with small. Replace the wires. Yeah, Snuffles. It could be something as simple as the wires, but it could be on these old motors. It's a super simple electrical system on these. You got points, you got coil, you got condenser, wires and spark plug. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. So somewhere in that issue, somewhere in those things, there's an issue going on. And we'll figure that out. Not tonight. Tonight was just testing things. So there you go. And like I said, I wasn't really planning on farting around with this too much tonight. I just wanted to see what we had for that. It was a busy day today. What the heck's going on here? Like I said, I got nine different motors that I got right now that I'm going to fix and sell in the spring. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them here. The other 4 are in storage. And I'm hoping a buddy of mine had found a 33 horse Evinrude. I forget what year that one was. Doggone it. Anyways, down by the Detroit area. I was hoping he's gonna be able to pick that up for me. I haven't heard back from him yet on that. But I got a 1954 14-foot wooden boat that I'm going to restore this winter. And I had a 50, or I still have a 55 or a 1954 25 horse Evinrude that came with that motor. But I hate that motor. It's ugly. The guy painted it funky. It's just got a lot of issues. And the boat is rated for a 33 horse. So I'd like to get a 33 horse motor for that old wooden boat. So that's a winter project that I got going on, as well as 9 motors that I plan on getting running this winter, and we'll sell them in the spring and see what happens. But just, something fun to do. Something fun to do. I got congestive heart failure. I'm medically retired and just trying to find something to stay busy. So this is what I found to stay busy, was working on some old outboard motors. And see what we could do with them, see if we can get them running, and like I say, maybe sell them, maybe make a buck or two off of them, whatever. But yeah, that's what's shaking bacon. Let's see here. Bye. Whatever, JZ. Bye. Nice to see you. So, anyways, what else we got shaking? So I'll show you what I got going on here. So right here. Right here was a 1960 Evinrude, 18 horsepower. That was basically a barn find. It was missing knobs. It was missing all kinds of stuff. You couldn't even operate the throttle when I first got it, and I got that working. Yeah, got this thing running. I replaced the water pump. Had to get the drain plugs. New drain plugs for it because it was missing that. That's a little gear lube. It just went through it. This thing's got great compression, great spark. It runs great now. But it was a project. It's a project just trying to find the damn parts. When you get into working on these old engines, 1960. What is that? 40 plus 20, 65 years ago. This motor's like 65 years old, and yeah, it's running now. It's running now. So there you go. So I got that going on. Then you can see right there, that's an old 19, I think it's a 67 McCullough 4 horse. So we got that I'm going to work on. Way back in there, you can see that cowl. That is a 1955 7.5 Evinrude. Got good spark and good compression, so that shouldn't be too bad to get running. Then next to that, that's a 1973 Evinrude 9.5, I think it is. And I don't know much about that one. If it runs or doesn't run, or I don't really know. So I'm gonna work on it and get it running. I'm gonna get it sold. So that's what I got shaking tonight. Yeah, so now we know where we sit as far as this old 1973 18 horsepower Evinrude. Let me change this up a little bit here when I can't see. what people are writing, if they're writing anything. So now I know what's going on with this 1973 Evinrude. I know I got good compression, and I got good, weak spark in the top cylinder, and sporadic spark in the bottom cylinder. We'll go from there. And I do know that it shifts into gear, so we're good. We're good there. Oh, what's going on here? I gotta put this down. I'm gonna bring this in a bit closer because I can't read what you guys are commenting. Cool motors you have there. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's my brother. That's my brother, right on. Good to have you here, Dave. Yeah, just having a adult beverage in the garage here, and I think I sent you a video on the old 1960 Evinrude running. Looking forward to in the spring getting that thing sold. I just picked up, Dave. I just picked up I was at Mike's shop yesterday, and I got on Facebook Marketplace, and I seen this 1973 Evinrude, 18 horse for sale. And I called the guy to see what was going on it. And yeah, he told me what was going on. I decided I'd go pick it up. And I just did a compression test. You missed that. Compression test was good on both cylinders. And spark was weak on the bottom cylinder and sporadic. And the spark was weak on the top cylinder. So I'm going to have to get in to take the flywheel off. And it's pretty simple system on this thing. It's got points, condenser, and coil. So pretty simple system. Maybe I'll just buy everything new, replace everything, and then retest it. Once I get good spark, I'll go ahead and replace the water pump, change the lower gear lube on it, and it'll be ready to sell. That thing came with a full tank of gas. It was running this summer, so the gas, one of the rare finds, you get a full tank of gas that actually smells good. Most of the times, you get these old motors and the gas smells like hell because it's been sitting for 30 years. Yeah, my internet was having problems. I turned it off Wi-Fi, Dave. It was, I think I'm close enough to the house where I'm getting somewhat shitty Wi-Fi. So I just turned the Wi-Fi off, and now I'm not having, it doesn't seem like, am I having any issues at this point, or is everything coming across good? But yeah, so you saw the compression test was good, and saw the spark test if you were there. But yeah, it's kind of funny. The gas was literally a full 6-gallon tank of gas. And I was like, what am I going to do with this old nasty gas? I opened up and it was freaking smelled good and clean. I was like, are you kidding me? I got a full tank of gas. That's good. Unbelievable. That doesn't happen on these old motors. And I was at my son's place today, and he's got an old Yamaha Exciter, Exciter 2. Is it Exciter 2? Anyways, old Yamaha snowmobile. And carb issues. So I pulled both the carbs off that today. Going to be bringing it to my brother's shop and pull them apart, clean them up, see what's going on. But it drained all the gas right out of the gas tank, right into the motor. So we've got a stuck valve off the float, I'm guessing. So it just let all the fuel go right through. But I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild both carbs off of his old snowmobile, so that's ready to go. Because supposedly this winter, we're gonna get snow. The last couple winters have been really, really sad as far as snow goes. So whatever, it is what it is. So did I have good internet connection, Dave, when I was going through all the different motors I got? I actually have, like I said, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 here that I'm going to work on. I got an old Mercury that's in the storage facility. That's a beautiful motor, electrical issues, but the Mercuries are a little more difficult to isolate the electrical issues. So I'll dig into that later in the winter. And then my 25 horsepower motors in the storage facility that I came with the boat I bought, the 1954 wood boat I bought that I'm going to restore this winter. And I'm probably going to just part out that motor And then I got two other motors, an old Johnson 55 horse, I think it's a 5.5 that I'm going to part out. And what the hell else I got over there? Oh, I think it's a 1969 Evinrude 9.5 or 9.9. I'm going to part that thing out too. So, and then Matt found a motor down in Detroit area. It's a 33 horsepower Evinrude that would work for my boat. So I'm hoping, I told him, go ahead, talk to the guy. If everything sounds okay, buy it. I'll buy it from you when you come up here sometime, and I'll fix that motor up for my boat. So perfect. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you letting me know. Are you having a beer tonight, Dave? It's late up here. It is what? Holy cow, it's almost midnight up here. Are you having a beer tonight? I'm having a Voodoo Ranger, Dave. The Voodoo Ranger. So, anyways, and then to today, because I had gas tanks all over my garage here, so I built a little shelf that goes off my rafters. I got a pile full of gas tanks up there now. I'm just trying to get the garage organized for winter, because I want to get that old boat in here this winter. So that old wood boat, so I can get that restored. That's going to be a damn nice project. And I think it's going to be a really, really nice boat, really fun boat next year. And I actually was planning on, Dave, I was planning on using this 18 horse for my wood boat. But I really wanted to find a 33 horse. And when Matt sent me the 33 horse that he found down by the Detroit area, down by where he's at, boy, I'm really, really hoping he can get that, so I can put that 33 horse on my 1954 wooden boat. And hopefully you'll be up here sometime next summer. I have that thing running. You can take a ride out on the lake with me on that old boat. Not quite the boat we grew up behind. 455 olds with a ton of horsepower, jet powered boat. Yeah, not what I'm doing is anything like that. Oh, I had a few earlier at a college football. Oh yeah, I suppose you did have some at the college football gathering. That is something that you like to do, for sure. Well, I've been putzing around in the garage pretty much all day today, just trying to, between here and the storage facility, just getting things organized for winter time, getting what motors I want here initially, to get to work on in the beginning of winter. And then as winter goes on, I'll then get these projects done, and I'll pull some other motors in and get going on them. And like I said, I do got them old outboards that I'm gonna tear apart and sell for parts. They'll be on eBay at some point over the course of winter and early spring, when people are thinking boats. This time of year, who the hell's thinking about? I mean, maybe in Florida, obviously, where you're at, people are thinking about boats, but up here, everybody's getting ready for bird season and deer season and archery season. And oh, Dave, I still can't. This doggone elbow, I cannot. When I go out like this, it just hurts like hell. I can't put no pressure on it, so I don't know if I'm going to be bow hunting this year. I was supposed to, sports medicine or physical therapy was supposed to get a hold of me. I haven't heard from them yet. I'm going to have to get back hold of my doctor, because I really need to get to the bottom of it. It's been almost 2 months now that this elbow's been messed up. If I close the door, if I do certain things, put certain weight on it, try to stretch it out, it really is messed up. So I don't know if I'll be doggone archery hunting this season or not. And at bare minimum, I'm hoping that the thing is ready to go for winter archery tournaments, because geez Louise, I do not want to miss tournaments this winter. Yeah, you know, Dave, I agree. my regular doctor sent me and had an x-ray, nothing was done, and he said, I'm going to send you to physical therapy. When physical therapy gets hold of me and I go see them guys, I'm going to ask them if they can refer me to a specialist so I can get an MRI and find out what the heck is going on. Because it's right, it hurts from right in here and then right in here. And then when I really try to extend it and I put pressure on extending it, it's just unbelievable. So I cannot shoot my bow. And that's super, super frustrating. You know how much I like shooting, Dave. And to not be able to throw arrows, it just drives me crazy. So anyways, how long have I been on here? Almost 40 minutes. Yeah, I've been on for a little while. Typically, I like to do about a 30-minute live just to pop on real quick, see what's shaking, have a quick drink on the Saturday night while I'm in the garage, farting around. You know, just that type of thing. Other than that, trying to get ready for winter up here. I mean, we're pushing middle of September here, so you know how that goes. It's in the UP. You get into October, it could snow at any doggone point. And hopefully, when you come up here, we don't have snow yet, or, you know, maybe we will. Who knows? When you get up here, we'll see what's happening, eh? It'll be fun regardless. You haven't been up here, but year and a half maybe? You were up here last summer, I think. I'm trying to remember. But anyways, that's all I know, gang. That's all I really know. Just hanging out. Just hanging out. Oh, preparing for winners. Preparing for winners. So the other people are here. Who's around and where are you from? Oh no, bought a boat, never buy a boat. There's truth to that. Don't buy a boat. And I did buy a boat in 1954, 14-foot wage maker. I want to say wage maker. Is it the Wolverine? Anyways, it's a wooden boat. It's not in terrible shape. I got to do, I'm going to have to do some work, a little bit of restoration, not terrible. But, yeah, we grew up, growing up, we had a Sidewinder. I want to say, what was that, Dave? I think it's an 18-foot. My brother Mike owns it now. My parents had owned it. My brother David owned it. My brother Mike now owns it. And he's owned it for a number of years. It was a 455 old with a jet propulsion on it. That thing went like a rape ape. It was just amazing. 18-foot. Yeah, that's right. 18-foot Sidewinder. I was watching a thing on YouTube the other day. I was talking about classic boats and some of the cool, faster boats. And actually, Dave, the 18-foot Sidewinder came up in that video. I thought that was pretty funny. And I was watching on the TV, so I can't comment on the TV. If I was watching on the phone, I would have commented saying, yep, we grew up on that boat, water skiing behind that boat. Dave, my brother, barefooted behind that boat. It was amazing with that jet propulsion. You had the rooster tail. Man, you'd get that thing hauling ass, and you would send a rooster tail, I don't know, 20 feet high and 100 feet, easily 100 feet behind the boat. It was just insane. It was a really, really cool boat. It still is a cool boat. And a couple years ago, it's funny, I say a couple years ago, our buddy Matt Collins, and Matt, it was getting really soft. It was getting really flexible. So you cut the floor out, you took the seats out, cut the floor out, redid all the stringers, refiberglass everything, put a new floor in and refiberglass that. And boy, what a difference. That boat, that hull is so solid now, it's unbelievable. So I was looking back at my Facebook to see when that was done. I literally thought that was a couple years ago. That was done in 2016 when Matt redid the floor on that boat and the stringers and all that. That was a long time ago already. But boy, did that make a difference. That boat, after all those years, it just got really, really flexible, kind of a spongy feel to it. But that 455 olds, that was something else. I actually blew that motor up racing a rinker way back in the day. I think I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17 years old when I blew it up. And I literally thought my dad was going to kill me. I think, I don't remember for sure who was with, I don't remember if it was Dean or if it was, I think it was Matt that was with me when that happened. But we were racing a rinker across the lake, and with that old jet boat with a 455 olds, I mean, we just smoked him. And with a jet boat, it's like a jet ski. You can really cut it hard. You can get the back end to flip up in the air, and then dive the front end underwater. And this is a boat, you know. But you can do some really cool things with a jet boat. Anyways, beat the boat to the end of the lake. Went to do exactly what I just said. So you cut the wheel hard, you throttle on, so you bring the throttle back, cut the wheel hard, throttle on hard, and it just swings the back of the boat really quick, like on a dime, but the ass end of the boat will come out of the water. So when the ass end of the boat comes out of the water, you got to pull the throttle back, so when the boat drops back in the water, all that torque doesn't do any damage. Well, this particular time, I did not throttle back. I had held the throttle down. So as soon as the back end of the boat hit the water again, it created a tremendous amount of torque with that water going through the jet and blew the motor up. Like, just blew it up. Yeah, we ended up having to row to shore and get the boat home. I literally thought my dad was going to kill me. I was like, I better just have a shovel handy when he shows up. And I got to tell him what I did, because I just need to dig my own grave. I thought I was a dead man. Anyways, my dad comes home, and like, literally, he should be just pissed off about this whole thing, because like I said, I was 16 or 17 years old when I did this. And he comes home, I told him what happened. And I was expecting to get my ass kicked. I was expecting to be digging my own grave. I was expecting to die. I thought my life was going to be over. And he kind of looked at me and kind of shook his head a little bit. Thought, you could see he was in thought. And he's like, yeah, I kind of been wanting to get a little more horsepower on that motor. Anyways, he's like, when I get off work tomorrow, you boys need to have that engine on that boat. What? I'm not getting killed? Like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. All I had to do was get the motor pulled out of that doggone boat, and I wasn't going to die. I couldn't believe my luck. I blew up this motor, and his response was like, I want to get more power out of it anyways. Holy crap. That was like a miracle from baby Jesus or something. Like, unbelievable. So that's an old boat story for you. There you go. So anyways, yeah. So anyways, like you said earlier, I can't remember who said it, but yeah, don't know about a boat. I mean, that's, everybody knows, you know, boats is, what is that? Cost you another $1,000, whatever. That's part of the gig, hey. But it does if you got to send it to the shop. The key is if you can work on the stuff yourself, whether it's a boat. I used to own a trucking company, and I couldn't work on diesels. That was way out of my realm. I could do basic stuff on a semi. But yeah, if you have to send stuff to the shop, that's just unbelievable what it costs and the pain involved in those costs. So with the motor, with boats, you know, we grew up on the water. We grew up water skiing and kneeboarding, and back then inner tubing was actually an old inner tube, like from a truck inner tube we'd tie a rope on it. It wasn't like the inner tubes you got today. Kneeboarding was a thing. I love kneeboarding. My brother Dave, he could do some barefooting. I could never get that figured out. But yeah, I kind of grew up on the water and doing that type of stuff. So pretty cool. And if you can work on your own boat, it's not so bad. Hey, 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 Misty Walters. I'm Mexican, and that's okay. That is okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good to have you here today. Good to have you here. So, anyways, like I said, just out here having a beer, farting around with my old motors, and just hanging out in the garage. But I think it's gonna be said hi. Hey, how you doing? Oh, Apu Gaming, Apu Gaming, Apu Gaming. Hey, Apu Gaming. Good to have you here tonight. So I've been live for almost 50 minutes now. Usually I just do 30 minutes, quick one, and in and out. I've only done a couple lives. It's not something I typically do. It's a little out of my comfort zone, but here we are. Here we are doing a live. Good to have you guys with me tonight. But I think it is my time. It's a little bit after midnight here in the UP. I think she gets a little, actually the other way around. She wishes I wouldn't spend as much time as I do in the garage. but you could be right. Maybe the wife will let me in again. So here I am out in the garage. Sometimes that's the case. Not tonight. She was not happy that I want to come out here and spend some time working on the motor. So there you go. Yeah. Ding ding the curtain. There you go. There you go. Ding ding. Oh my goodness. Anyways, well, gang, it's been a fun night tonight. I'm glad you guys showed up and are hanging out with me. It's good. It's good. We're having fun, and that's what it's all about. You know, whether whatever you're doing. I'm medically retired. I got congestive heart failure, and just trying to stay busy, trying to keep life entertaining and fun. On my channel, I do a lot of camping out and things like that. My normal channel, my live, my long videos is out hiking and camping. The lives I've been doing a little bit more out in the garage. Like it's easier to do live out in the garage here, because when I do a live out, or if I want to do a live out hiking or camping, the cell service is so poor in the UP that you just to try to do a live up here is ridiculous. So I got to be close to town. I did a live. I think I did a live a couple weeks ago at a campground I was at, but that was really close to town. Not a typical place I like to be camping. I'm from Greyburn. I'm not quite sure where Greyburn is. Why don't you tell me where that is? That's really cool. Building motors keeps me happy. Yeah, Brent. Yeah, I got congestive heart failure a couple years ago, and for a while there, things were looking bad, and I didn't know if I was going to be alive in a couple years, so I didn't do a whole lot. And then things started looking better, and I started feeling better. I started thinking, well, what is something that I enjoy to do? And I really enjoy working on motors. I don't like my dad. My dad builds high performance cars and things like that. And my brother Mike does cars and motorcycles and snowmobiles, and I don't really care for working on those things. So I had to really think about, as I was feeling better, what I like to work on. And I like working on the old two strokes, like the old two stroke dirt bikes, the IT 465s and like the 70s and 80s and early 90s, the old two strokes. I really like that. Then I was thinking about that. And I'm like, you know what else is kind of cool? The old two stroke outboard motors. They're such a simple motor. There's not a whole lot to think about with them. But they're, you got pretty basic electronics, pretty basic fuel system, pretty basic carburetor. So it's not, you don't need a computer to work on the thing or diagnose them. We just need some basic knowledge to work on these old motors. And so I decided, I'm like, you know what, I like working on motors. I'm gonna play with the old two stroke outboard motors, because that they're cool, and it's a simple two stroke. Hey, it's not super complicated if you understand the basics of motors. Now, to a lot of people, and I get really good deals on these old motors because people don't know how to work on them and don't understand how they work and don't understand the principle behind them. So I get really good motors. I I picked up 10 motors, and I am $425 into 10 motors. I mean, really, really inexpensive to a hobby to get into. No, I'm not expecting to make a bunch of money on these things when I sell them. They're older motors, and they're not a really high demand motor, but it's still something really fun to work on. And if a guy can make a couple bucks as a hobby, why not? Hey, why not? It's just something fun to do. Let me see some of these messages. Also hard to find a good two-stroke mechanic anymore. Well, I spend a little bit of time at my brother's shop, and he does. He was a Harley mechanic for many, many years. He opened his own shop. He does a lot of ATVs, UTVs, Harleys. Doesn't do a lot of metrics. But yeah, there literally isn't very many people who work on old stuff anymore. There just isn't, and I'm not out here looking to get people to bring me their motors and work on people's stuff. I just want to buy some stuff, fix some stuff, sell some stuff, buy some more stuff. And maybe at some point, maybe I'll further on with some other people's stuff. I was at the marine shop the other day and the boat shop the other day picking up some parts, and they were telling me, they're like, we won't work on any of the old stuff at all, and that's the same thing like I see at my brother's shop is anything 10 years old or older, the OEM shops won't work on them. So you have to find somebody that will work on, if it's 10 years old or older, somebody who has the knowledge and skill and ability to work on them. And there is not, 30 years ago when I was a young guy and I was a salesman and a service advisor and parts salesman at a small it was a Kawasaki shop actually, when we sold Miracraft boats and Nissan motors. Back then there was everybody in the corner had their own little shop going on to work on them. Today you can't find anybody who works on this old stuff anymore. They're just not out there. So it's turning into a lost art, literally. So kind of sad to see it going away. I got them turkey toes on my bread to grow. I don't know what that means. Most people just throw it away and buy new. That's 100% true. Most people, they literally will just throw these old. That's why, like I said, I got 10 motors. And I'm averaging right around $40 a motor because people just throw them away. Nobody knows how to work on them. The shops will work on them. When I went to my local marine shop the other day to get some parts, that's what they literally told me. Like, we won't work on that old stuff, So I probably could have a market and make some money working on people's stuff because they tell me that people bring the stuff in and they just don't want to touch it. So what do people do with it? Most people don't know what to do with it, so they literally discard it for nothing, for free or pennies on the dollar. And usually there's not much wrong with them to get them running, but if you don't have the knowledge and you don't know what's going on, some basic knowledge of two-stroke motors, what do you do? And where do you bring it? There's nowhere to bring old motors because the shop rates nowadays is what, $150 an hour. Well, you take these old motors, like this old 18 horse, it's a 1973. If a shop spends 4 hours on it, that's $600. And what's that worth? If I have it running, maybe I could get $500 for it, or $400 or $500. I don't even know. Not much money. So to bring it to an OEM shop is just not realistic. It's just not a thing. And the OEM shops will just turn them away. They don't want to mess with them. So I suppose if I wanted to build a little business working on other people's motors, I don't really want to have the stress and headache of customers. I'd rather just find them used and that they're going to discard, fix them up, and sell them for cheap. Make a buck or two. I am not at all expecting that. Like this one here. I picked up for $100. I'll probably have. Well, I got $25 of fuel, so I'm $125 into this thing. By the time I put an impeller in it, some electronics, I might be up to $250, and I might get $400 for it. So it's not like, I'm not going to make a lot of money. I'm just doing it for fun, something to do. But like I say, I could probably build a small business working on other people's stuff. I ran into an old high school classmate today, and he told me he had an old motor and didn't know where to bring it to work on it. And because I told him I was rebuilding and restoring old motors, and I did not offer to fix his motor because I don't really want to have a customer. I don't want to have to, have a timeline or a deadline. I just want to do what I want to do. Yeah, I don't want any pressure. I want to shave my head, sell a hose, buy a bike and a hammock, and retire. That sounds like a great plan. That sounds like, you know what? I'll shave my damn head too. That same thing. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. That sounds like a great plan. I like that. Oh, goodness. Anyways, gang. That's all I got. I've been on for about an hour. Your wife, your sister? Jesus Christ. No, my wife is not my sister. I don't even know where that would come from. That's fucking silliness. My wife, my sister. No. My wife is my high school sweetheart, though. We've been together. She was a few years older than me in school, a couple of years, and we met in high school and started dating, and somewhere along the line got married and had a family and got 4 wonderful kids, and yeah, they're all doing great in life. So yeah, anyways, I appreciate your comment. My wife, my sister. What kind of silliness? Holy cow. So the people on the internet, you guys are characters, let me tell you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyways, gang, it is I will ship you beers. Right on. Enjoy the woods. Hey, enjoy the woods. That's typically on my channel. The stuff I post, regular videos. I'm all hiking. I got congestive heart failure and whatever, but I hike, I camp and whatever. And the lives I've been noticing, I've been doing a little bit more in the garage just because it's easier to do lives out here. But yeah, thanks for coming in. Yeah, I am having a kick-ass night. I'm grateful to have you guys here tonight and whatnot. So I appreciate very much what's going on. Barely got some message for reviews, but I'm not gonna deal with that right now. Anyways, enjoy the woods. Hell yeah, enjoy the woods. I hunt, I fish, I camp. Yeah, I love being out in the woods. It's just a wonderful thing. So anyways, gang, I am going to call it a night. I've been on here for just over an hour. I typically will just do this is my 4th or 5th live. I'll typically just hang out for a half hour to see what's going on. But I really appreciate you guys coming along tonight and just kind of hanging out in the garage, having a sip of an adult beverage, and just generally hanging out. It's cool to have you here. I am drinking a Voodoo Ranger Tropical Force. It's an IPA. This last year or so, I've kind of gotten into IPAs. They're a fun drink. A few years ago, I didn't care for IPAs at all, and I don't know what happened, but I got into IPAs, and I really enjoy having one every now and again. So that is what I'm drinking: a Voodoo Ranger Tropical Force. My favorite Voodoo Ranger is a Fruit Force. It's really a good beer. But yeah, just hanging out in the bar or hanging out in the garage, having a beer, farting around with the old motors, and hanging out with you guys. So how much better could life be? Anyways, gang, I'm gonna call it a night and go hit the hay. It is past midnight here. 20, almost 20 after midnight Eastern time. I live up in the UP of Michigan, so it's great to have you guys out with me. Hopefully we'll see you again on another live. Yeah, thanks for coming out to my garage and having a beer. Hopefully we can do it again. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. If I know how to turn the thing off, I have no idea. Because I don't do enough of these. Good night, gang.